Okay, good morning. It is day 47 of coding every day. I'm quite tired this morning. I slept, well, I guess. Still tired this morning. I think it is. I think I shouldn't have taken melatonin last night because I think I was tired enough to just go to bed. And so then it just makes you like kind of groggy in the morning. So try not to take any tonight. But yeah, so yesterday was pretty bad. All we did was one leak code because I started late and didn't really feel up to it. Um, so today the plan is to get through one or two leak codes this morning, and then I'm gonna go to the gym and then come back, and then we will work on the CLI project. Um, so so yeah. Um, Not much to talk about before you get started. The only thing I did want to talk about was I mentioned this like a few weeks ago, but I really want to start doing something else on this channel because I think it'd be cool to actually try to like I guess grow the channel, but not even that. I really love the Manum library that we are using in the code visualizer. I think it is beautiful. I think what Three Blue, One Brown did with that open source project is amazing. And whenever I watch one of his videos, it's like it's amazing. And so I would really love to maybe once a month um try to put together a video using that and doing like a voiceover and trying to explain a topic that I have recently like worked on. So like it could be how we're going through like topics in the neat code like progression. It could be like the binary tree, right? Different type of search algorithms. And just trying to visually explain that the best I can, and use the Manum library to visualize that and then talk about it. I don't know if you're familiar with the channel Fern. There's this guy that makes 3D render videos about like you know interesting events. Whether that be like the ones I always loved watching from him were the ones about like cybersecurity. Um, and like how blah 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 got into hacked the CIA or whatever like that. Um, it'd be cool to try to like mix that type of video with an educational video, like make it intriguing, make someone click on it and actually be like intrigued. And I don't know how exactly you do that, but I think it could be cool to mess around with. So I think what I might start trying to do is putting like an hour or two of work in at night, um, working on making a manum generation for a sort of topic. And then when I have the whole thing like done, do a voiceover over the whole thing, um, and then upload this to this channel. And then oh my god. And then yeah. So maybe I'll start that today. Thinking of like an idea. Because I don't know how you'd cross paths with making like an intriguing like story based video with an educational video. Um, there was actually a video I was gonna make a while back about um the singularity or whatever, the whole idea of a given point in time. Oh no. I was gonna make a video about um it was something about artificial intelligence. I think I was gonna like title it like like some clickbaity thing of like why we should fear artificial intelligence or something like that. And I wanted it to be um I don't think I have. One second. I want to see if I actually have the render. Oh, yeah, I kind of found it. It doesn't have any of the video, sorry, audio to the video, but this is what I was making, and it was called "Should We Fear AI?" And so it was supposed to be like um there was these like there's these videos I liked that were like uh uh fuck, I forget what they're called. I used to get a lot of record when I was doing like I have a video on the channel called learn Python in like 2 minutes, I think. And so when I was editing that video, I had a lot of recommendations for cool stuff. And so one of the cool things was some animation style from some type of news channel that used to make really nice animations, or maybe still do. It does, but um, and so I wanted to make something pretty dramatic. I had dramatic music, and I was talking about the singularity, and I was talking about like a term that got popular, here. And then I think I was talking about like when it'll happen or some shit like that. You know, the thought was there. Um, yeah, but it'd be cool to get back to that. My Python. Oh my god, no way. Can't even. Uh, I'll deal with this later. Anyways, um, yeah, but it'd be cool to start like once a month or whenever I can get it out. It'd be nice to have like a minimum of once a month to like try to do one of those videos. But anyways, that's not the focus of today. Today the focus is two leak codes and then hopefully finishing the CLI project, which should be um, fixing copy lines and fixing the compose, fixing well, not fixing, adding I have no logic for making a compose file right now. So, oh my god. Okay. Uh, yeah. Let's get to it. So, maybe do another interval because I love these so much. Given an array of intervals where intervals at I is the start and end, merge all overlapping intervals and return an array of all the non-overlapping intervals. Oh, all the non-overlapping intervals that cover all the intervals in the input. Okay. So 1, 3, and 1, 5 overlap. This is all the same logic as yesterday of like building out until there's an overlap. And then once there's an overlap, like forming the overlap, right? I mean, I think it's just going to be the same as this, right? I guess I should just not go back and get it, but have like a result, have I. What else do we have? I don't know, but it was like while I is less than the length of intervals. So I is 0. So while this and um uh and what? Intervals at I at 0 is greater than well, no, wouldn't it be I plus 1 at 0? Well, I plus 1 at 0, well, this value is greater than intervals at I 1. Then I just do like res.append intervals at I, and then I plus equals 1. And then immediately, if this is wrong, then we want to say, well, I is less than the length of intervals. And well, I is less than the length of intervals, and we want to check, so this would be all of the overlapping stuff, right? So if we ever got here, it would be because this value is not greater than this value. Meaning we want to set meaning what? This would mean that there's an overlap between the current value and the next value. So at the very least, we're going to want to set what? And intervals at I plus 1 at 0 is what? Less than? Intervals at I. Is it not just this? And then I can do something that it's like, okay, temp in. I don't know if I can do this actually. I was gonna do temp in equals intervals at I, right? And then I was gonna delete intervals at I, and then I was going to say, okay, what we want to do now is we want to set intervals at I plus 1. Its first value is equal to the minimum between temp. Jesus. The minimum between the temp int at 0, its start time, and intervals at I plus 1 at 0, right? So between itself and what we're replacing. And so that's going to be that start time, and then its end time is going to be intervals at I plus 1 at 1 will be the max between that. But wait, no, I think that's fine. right? And then while I is less than the length of intervals, res.append. Something like this, right? Out of range. While do I need these to be minus ones? Still out of range. How'd that be out of range though? If I is at 0 and we instantly go here and I go until I is just while it's less than the length, length is 3, so 1. Oh, so we never increment I. How do I fix this? An error bounds on the wild check. Oh, so that is what they did. That actually is. I remember that was what we had yesterday in the solution. It was an I plus 1 less than. Yeah. Okay, now both of those are fucking failing. Oh, that is true. Is it just that? Is it because I forgot that? It was, okay. But now that is going from 1 to 7, from 7. And what was this doing? This didn't even change it. Oh boy. Okay. So what's happening here? Let's step through and so we go through, and so while I plus 1 right? So that'd be while 1 is less than 3 in this case. So correct. And intervals at I plus 1, right here at 0. So while 1 is greater than intervals at I1. So that's incorrect. So it skips this while loop and it goes down here. Length check is still fine. And intervals at I plus 1, 0 is less than. It should be a less than or equal to, right? Less than or equal to, well, at 1. Oh, yeah. Less than or equal to. Okay, yeah. So temp int is equal to intervals at I. We delete intervals at I. So we'd be deleting this effectively. Then we'd say intervals at I plus 1 at 0 is going to be the min between this and this, which will be just 1. Okay. And then intervals at I plus 1 here, so this value is going to be the max between this and this, which is 5. So now we have 1 to 5. Okay. Then we increment I plus 1 and we recheck this. We say, okay, while I plus 1, so now we're at, because we deleted that, now we're at 2. So we're at the end of the array. And intervals at I plus 1, so here. So I plus 1 at 0. So, well, 6 is if less than or equal to intervals at I1, which would be 5. So it's not. So it should break out. So should this be less than or equal to intervals? Oh, no, we're at 1. Okay. Let's run that then. That looks like it should be fine. How? How is it combining that? There's no value called temp. Okay, that's correctly going. This should never be going. What? One 3 is going in and it's coming out as maybe let's print off intervals at I plus 1 now. So that's making a 1 7. Wait, if temp int is this, and it's only ever going through once, right? Meaning it should just be combining these. I should be 0, right? Oh my God, it's because we're deleting this, making this the new one. So before we delete this, so what? This should be down here. And then I don't need this, right? Wait, why was I doing that? I was doing that because, I mean, perhaps you forgot a comma. Int. Why was there an int there? Okay, we're getting somewhere, I guess. Except that only put out 6, 7. So we go into here and we say, okay, intervals at I plus 1, meaning this right here, we're changing this to the minimum between this and this, and we're changing this value to the maximum between this and this, making it just 1, 5, right? Then we delete this and we increment our value. So we should have a 1, 5, 6, 7, and then we append that. Print intervals at I and intervals at I plus 1. One, 5, 6, 7. What? Print res. Oh my God. I'm not appending it. I was thinking about doing this in place. So what? Can I just wait. I mean, I can just do this actually, right? Oh wait. Whoa. I can just do res.append intervals at I plus 1, right? Intervals at I, because there we go. Damn it. 1, 4 and 0, 0. 1, 4 and 0, 0. Did it just reorder that? What did it just print? If intervals at I plus 1, 0. So if 0 is greater than this, which it's not. Well, this is less than or equal to this. Oh, do I have to sort this first? I probably want to sort this by like the start time. What is it again? It's like intervals equals. Oh no, isn't it intervals dot sort like x lambda something about a key equaling x? I know I have it somewhere. Like I think yeah. Let me duplicate this real quick. I think in our last. Maybe it was meeting rooms then? Yeah. But it wouldn't be x dot start. It'd be like, what? X had 0? How would this ever not be working? Obviously, this would not go because this at 0, sorry, this at 0 is not greater than this, right? So we say, okay, intervals here, if this is less than or equal to this, and it is. So we say intervals here at I plus 1, 0 is the min between this and this. So we're at 0, 0 and 4. So we should have 0, 4, and then we say, okay, let's go again. That is intervals at I plus 1, 0. Less than or equal to intervals at here. Yeah, it's 4. Why wouldn't that be going again? I want 2 tests to print. It's only 1. Why? Why would that ever be only 1? So I is 1. I guess if we're deleting, we don't want to increment I, right? It's kind of already just automatically incremented. Or not. But does that not make sense? But in some way, it has to make sense, right? Because if you go through, if you don't increment I, right? If we deleted intervals at I, why would that break then? Because if okay, if we have this current array, right, and we say okay, obviously these overlap, right? So when we delete this and put our new one, right? If I have now two elements, now I's here. We want to still be checking here, so we don't want to increment I if we're deleting here, right? But then why is it so if I take away the increment of I, right? I look at here and I look at here. And then I combine these and it's still at 0, right? But 0 ah, so I think now I want to append that. What? Ah. Oh, but then not do this. Oh wait. What am I doing? I don't want this. What am I saying? I'm saying intervals here is the minimum between this and this and this and this. So this is now correct. I want to append that to res and I want to delete this value, right? So it all shifts down by one, pretty much. But then why isn't it when it repeats? Why isn't it good? Why is it appending another one? Like, why is this ever 1 5 or 1 5? Like here. Oh, it's because this. So maybe I do. Okay. Maybe I do want to say I plus equals 1. But instead, I just, no matter what, this is going to be intervals at. Oh, it is going to be increment. Oh my God. Do I need like a different incremental thing? So I still need I to increment, but I don't want these to be running. like all these checks to be running off of I. I want them to be running off of like, let's say K, right? Or K equals I. Or no, K equals 0. K will be incremented here. Then here, K will never be incremented, so we can use this as to say, right? Oh my God. How? I'm gonna lose it. Oh my God. Just like, I don't get how the logic isn't just flawless here. Is this all switched to K? Maybe so. How does this even happen? How do I get an O4 and an O5? So it never reaches that. So it's appending. Or sorry. I want this to be res. I guess it does never reach that. Is that my only, wait, is that my only print statement? No, it's not. I have this. Oh my God. I keep pressing the wrong thing. So it never reaches that. So right here, it's appending. So the first time it comes through, before we delete intervals at K, we have O2, O4. So this is correct. So then we delete this and we have 0435. Now next time we come through, I don't get how this. Okay, let me print intervals and let me print K. Okay, it's 0 on both times. So why? Actually, I'll keep that there, and then I'll also do a print here. Oh, wait. It does select successfully do it. And then what? It appends. What? It deletes it. And then what happens? It doesn't come back around, so why is there an 0405? It has to be it's appending. But then there'd be a print value there, and there's not a print value there. I mean, am I oh my God, I'm printing intervals. I mean, would it not be also just better though to delete intervals at K and then append? But like, so we have nothing. It goes through and we append 04. Oh, I guess what we want to do is I guess for every loop we want to do is we want to say what if res at 0 just delete res at 0. I think there's a syntax error on that. Oh. I say if it's not none, meaning there's something in it. That has to be invalid syntax. Never mind. So many print statements. Print whatever res is at the end of this. I mean, so it should be this overlaps, right? So this should become um 2, 3. Now this overlaps, so this becomes 2, 4. This overlaps, so it just becomes 2, 4 again. This doesn't overlap, so then we append at the end. So what is I? I is 3. I'll print that, but let's get rid of these print statements. It's getting kind of messy. I guess it's just while I guess this is while the length of this is what, greater than 1? No, 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 no. We want to check. So like here, current I doesn't really matter. We just want to say actually, if we know, like up here, right? We append intervals at I, right? What if we did the exact same thing? Why am I even okay? Why am I even like doing all this I stuff? Why don't I just in play like if I delete something, right? It's not like we have to move an index. So like right here, if I append this to res, it's not like I need it anymore, right? So I could just delete that. But like, let me just try something here. Maybe this is stupid, but let's just try it. Because I mean, I'm appending it to res and then I'm just removing it, right? So the index doesn't need to change. I mean, right? Fuck, we're back to that error. I mean, is there any I anywhere here? No. So why is this appending and then appending? Well, so we get here with 1, 5, 6, 7, so it's fine. But then we append 1, 5 again. Huh? Oh wait. Never mind. This is correct, I think. But it's appending 1.5 twice. Okay, so it's appending 1.5 and then 6.7 because current intervals is 1.5 and 6.7. Okay, I understand. It's because I'm looking at. What, do I just delete this every time? Oh, true. Well, how do I get around that? Because the whole issue here, right, is that it's like, I guess I say like if res, or I guess if intervals at k is equivalent to res at k, or just not equal to. Index out of bounds. Okay. Let's print k. How could I do? Because yeah, it is, but like, if res at k doesn't exist, like still append. Oh yeah, that is actually pretty good. I hate all these comments. Get them out of here. Okay, nice. I'm gonna cry. Why won't it work? My logic should be flawless at this point, bro. Why? Why? Why won't you just combine? Current res is 1.3. Whoa. If the current res is 1.3. Oh, because I'm appending 4657, right? Okay. Oh, that's brutal. That's brutal. It had overlap, and it stopped, and then it had overlap again at some point. Oh my god. How do you even fix that? Oh my god. Wait, that's really bad. Wait, but how is that even possible if we're sorting it? So there's overlap between all of this, right? And then there's no more overlap between all this, but there's overlap between this. Oh my god. You'd have to do something where when you're doing this while stuff, you'd have to see, like, again, do like a check here and then throw it back up here if that ever happened. I don't know. I need to go to the gym. I don't have time for all this. No. No, it's not that easy. Nah. Nah. There's no way. Sort res for interval and in intervals. If the current res or res, I don't believe that this is the, I'm just going to put it in there and run it. There's no way. What? You sort it by the first element. Res is equal to an empty array. For each interval, you say, okay, if res is empty or the current interval does not overlap with the last one. So if this isn't empty or res at its last index second value is less than, meaning the end time of this value. If this is less than this, then we just append that interval to res. So if there's nothing in res or that else, res at -1, 1 is equal to the max between negative and interval. I am shocked. I need to pull up TLDraw and look at this. No way it was this fucking simple. So if we have an array of a double array of, let's say, 1, 2, 1, 4, 5, 6, 5, 6, 5, 8. Okay. Let's just go through this. So we have res, which has nothing in it right now. It's currently empty. Now we look at this first. So this is the first interval in intervals. And we say, okay, if res is empty, which it is, so instantly I don't have to check this, we're appending this interval. Okay. So we append 1, 2. Done. Next, we go through and we look at this interval. And we say, if not res, which isn't the case, but, or if res, if at this index, if this value is less than this value, where it is, sorry, no, less than this, which it is not. This is not less than this value. So we go to the else and we say this value this little value here that we have underlined here, I can just do this, is now equal to 1, 4. Okay, now we go to our next value and we say, does this value, does the previous value, so does 4 at 1, is this less than that? Yes, it is. So we just append that. And then we go through and we say, okay, for interval, so we're on our last one, and we say, is this value, this 6, is this less than this value? And it's not. So we say that this value is now the max between that and that, which is 8, making this 5, 8. Wow. That is definitely a beautiful way of doing that. Oh my God. Wow, that's crazy. I want to see though. So like that's a great solution. Yeah, I guess this was just way too far gone, eh? Well, so I'm gonna go to the gym, but let's sit back for a second and go over what I learned here. So these past two interval problems, I think I have a problem with like I understand exactly what needs to be done, but for some reason I like instantly try to brute force it, right? And I guess this comes from the fear of like when I'm in an interview, right? When I'm in a technical interview, like time is of, you know, the essence. Um, in which like um you're probably only gonna have half an hour, 45 minutes to solve one of these problems, right? And more like half an hour. Um, and so it's like for me to come to the conclusion of all I had to do was sort and then just either append it if it didn't interfere with the previous one. If it did like interfere with the previous one, just change that previous one, right? Now what I was doing wasn't like horrible though. I was just like terribly lost in like the incrementation. Because I mean, what I was doing was it was like just append to res, right? If it doesn't interfere with anything. If it does interfere with something, right? Then take those two values, delete this one, and turn this one into what I want. And so it goes here. And so while I kind of just hate that whole setup of like the double while loop because it's like once you're done appending everything, that's why this doesn't work. Because on that last one, that double while loop thing, I'm pretty sure was for an insert, right? So once you found the insert, you didn't need to do anything else. But like when you have this double while thing, it's like, okay, I inserted everything over here, and then I went and I merged everything from this overlap, but I could go right back to being fine and then going back to an overlapping, set of intervals. So I mean, I think two things. I think one, I think it just comes again with practicing this stuff because now I know if all I'm trying to do is insert a value, right? It's fine to just do a while loop to do everything before where we have to do something, do a while loop for where we have to do something, and then just append everything else at the end. But when it could be broken up, right? When it's just saying like, here's a given list, a 2D or a list of all these interview interval values, right? And it can, it doesn't say like, oh, there's only one set of overlapping intervals, right? I kind of have to do this thing where no matter what, I need to do something that is doing a for each interval, right? We have to look at each interval, no matter what. And my last approach just wasn't looking at every single interval. Technically, it was, but it wasn't looking at it to see if it was overlapping. Like after it got through one chunk of overlapping, it just appended everything else. So there's obviously also some flaws with that. But okay, so um, not horrible. I mean, the general approach was fine, but it's like I mean, the fact that you could do this in 17 lines and I was at like 40, you know. I'm assuming though the solution doesn't sort, or it's literally exactly. It's probably bar for bar actually what this is. Or for start and end, if the last end equals output the one before, if start. Okay, yeah, it's the same thing. Wow, this is O of N. Interesting. Uh, one other thing I wanted to maybe start doing is do a data structures and algorithms course. Actually, I'm taking an algorithms class this semester, so maybe not. I don't know. I'll have to see what that class is. So, but anyways, I'm going to pause this and go to the gym, and I also need to go pick up some groceries. Um, and then I will be back. Also, this weekend, so it's Wednesday, right? I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it's Wednesday. On Saturday afternoon, I'm leaving to go home for the night. Ideally, what I'll probably do is record that morning, go home, stay home, wake up in the morning, stay there, and then come back and record something in the evening on Sunday. That's probably what's gonna happen. So, um, just so you know. Anyways, okay. For you, I'll be back in a second. For me, it'll probably be like 2, 3 hours. So, okay. And then when I come back, either we'll do another interval problem or we'll just work on CLI project. We'll see. Okay. Bye. Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that. I think it took a little longer than I said, but went to the gym, got some groceries, and whatnot. So we're good now. Um, I think I'm gonna do one more leak code and then um, do one more leak code and then work on CLI. Yeah. So I don't know why I'm like so hesitating to work on CLI just because that link thing. Like I feel like it's gonna become such a fucking hassle. Like I feel like it's gonna become um uh, 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 um like something where I do need a dictionary that it's like if I choose this base image, I have to put this preface pre what am I trying to say? But like the pre like how I have user bin nginx or whatever. I feel like that stuff's gonna be very confusing to work across computers. Whatever. We'll figure it out. Anyways, let's do another interval. Non-overlapping intervals. Given an array intervals where intervals at I equals start I. One second. Sorry, I thought for sure I heard someone come in. Okay, back to the problem. So we're given the same thing as always. Return the minimum number of intervals you need to remove to make the rest of the intervals non-overlapping. Non-overlapping means if they have a non-overlapping, even if they have a common point. So 1, 3, 2, 4 overlapping, but 1, 2, 2, 3 is not. Okay. After this is removed, the rest of the intervals are non-overlapping. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Well, can't this just follow this exact same kind of premise, right? Just sort it and then just like check if this value is less than this value, simply remove it. Now, what makes it that we would remove this and like not like, I guess the minimum amount of removals. So, so that's a little detail that it's like, okay, is there a situation where we would check where like Like let's say this one overlapped into this, or let's say we have one that overlaps. Here, let's remove this and this. I don't really need this, but um, so we have, let's say we have 1, 2. This is sorted. We'll sort it again. We have 1, 2, 1, 3, and then we have like 3, 5, 4, 5, I guess. I actually do need to bring it down here because this thing always gets in the way. Okay. And so it's like, okay, we add this and then we look here and we say, okay, is this value greater than is this value less than this value? It is, right? So if we were to say just remove it, right? Remove it. Okay, now let's go to here, right? Well, these values are fine. Oh, I guess it actually would be if this was 2, 3. This is no longer fine, right? So now what are we going to do? We're going to remove this value. But we were to originally, if we were to have just removed this value, and let's call this a 5, 6 now. If we were to just remove this value, we would have only had to remove 1 instead of otherwise. Here, let me 5, 6. Um, right. So how do we do that? How do we ensure that it's the minimum given, right? Given Okay, what if I just went the other way around? What if I removed the smaller value? Because if we remove the smaller value, let's just see if we run into a case in which it's, whatever. So it's going to be the same as last time, in which we're going to have our result array, right? And we're going to do for interval in intervals, right? It's going to be this whole thing that, if if not res, right? Meaning if res is empty, or we want to check if actually how was it actually, I never even looked at this. How was it checking the next interval if it's doing an each? Also, I need this real quick. If not res or oh, it is just checking the current interval. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. That is smart. If not res or if res at um -1, sorry, -1, 1, right? So if this value right here, if this value is, if it's equal to this or it's less than this, it's good. So if it's ever greater than this value, is ever greater than interval at 0, right? Well, that's actually the bad case, isn't it? So I do want the less than or equal to, right? Because as long as that value is less than or it's equal to that, then we can just say res.append that value. We're going to append interval, right? Else, right, what we want to do is we want to what? We want to do like a I mean we want to delete intervals. So do I want I'm assuming I do want some sort of enumeration here, right? Intervals at index. But it gets really weird when you start doing this. So I don't think we want to remove this. I think we simply just want to. Do we want to remove res at index? If we're at index 0, right? We are then appending the current thing, and then index is going to go to +1, right? So now index is 1. If at this given value, right? If at this given value, we want to delete it. Or no. We appended this, we got here. Then yeah, it's this, but index -1. Does that hold? Like, so we deleted this, right? Because we want this to be free. And so, but then it goes to index 2, right? So I don't think it's this in terms of enumerate. I don't think I want to enumerate. I think I want to set something called index equals 0, right? And then index plus is going to plus equal 1 when we do append something. Else, do nothing with it, right? And then when we're done, return res, right? So for like instance, we put in one, we put in, it's going to be what, 1 2 1 4 2 4, right? So we look at 1 2 and we say, is there an overlap between 1 2 and 1 4? There is, right? So we remove 1 2. See, that's the issue though, is that we remove 1 2. And now there's an overlap again with that. So how do we, wow, how does this work? Well, there could be something where we, for each value, we just loop through and we check perhaps maybe how much it's overlapping. Because the issue here is, right, is technically this will remove all of the overlapping values. So, okay, obviously it's going to be wrong, but if we print res, right, out of range, of course it is. So what would this be? When do we want to increment index? We want to increment index It wouldn't be here. I mean, okay, let's just run this. So this is the whole thing, right? Is that it eliminates 1, 2. So if we print out, um, let's print out intervals after it's sorted. So we have 1, 2, 1, 4, and 2, 4. So if we just step through this, what it's doing is it's saying, okay, this overlaps with this, so remove it, right? Well, first we add that first element. We add this to res, and we go through and we say, is this greater than or equal to this? No, so we delete it, right? And then we add this, and then we say, is this greater than or equal to? Nope, and so then we delete that, and so it's two operations. When if we were to have just deleted this first, right? It's one operation. There's no overlap here. So what can we do to fix that? Hmm. 2, 1, 4, 2, 4. What happens if we sort with this being the dominant, but if they're equal? If the first ones are equal, what if we select by the greatest a reverse sort of the next one? Does that ever do anything? Because I mean, it would fix this one, but would it ever do anything? Like for this one. For this one, it would be fine. For this one, it would add 1, 2. Oh, by the way, this would be we would increment return val every single time we delete. Return val. Um, I mean, we'll try and I'll just look at what the output is. How can we make it so that it sorts based on index 0? It is, but if index 0 is equal to each other, it sorts by index 1 reversed. Interval sort, easy enough. Okay, let's see what it fails on. So we have 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay. So we have to delete 2 of these. Why wouldn't it be 2? So we append res, right? So after the first res is appended, we say after first res is appended, right here, we say, okay, is res, oh, is res right here, is this value less than or equal to this value? And it's not, right? So we delete this value and we just return, or then we say return val plus equals 1. Right, so we've done one deletion. Okay. Then we go through again. Whoa. For interval and intervals. So when we have 1, 2 originally, right? It's just going to append it. And then we go to the second one and we say our thing. And it deletes this, right? It deletes this out of res. And now we're at the third one. But yeah, we're at the third one and the value is 1. But then what it's doing is because res has nothing in it, it just appends it and then we're done. It doesn't check again. So maybe I have to do if not res, we append and then we check. Right? If not res, append and then do an if condition. Because we want to check once the condition, because right now it's like res is empty, then we add it, and then we're done with that iteration. But we want to add it and then check it with the add, right? Like, okay, what about if we run it, right, and we get the successful ones. If we were to do this, if we were to go through and we were to take 1, 4, and we were to add it to res, and then we were to check, okay, no, but then we get the index error because we don't have that next value. Maybe we add outside of this at the very end. We then say, like, again. Like, if res here is this, but okay, in this scenario, it's appending it because it's empty, right? So then at the end, I want to say, I mean, this could just be a temporary fix, but I'm just saying, like, okay, if this, right? What, do I want to append again? Let's just say it. Let's just say this. So now this is wrong because we're going through, but why? Let's print res right here before we go into this. So it's 2, 4 is what we're getting. So we're saying, okay, res, oh my God. If the length of res is greater than 2, greater than 1. Okay, it fixes that one, but then what happens here? We get 1, 2, 2, 4. My output is 1. Why is my output 1? It's because it is greater than this, and we're saying if res here is less than or equal to this, which it is, then we just append it, and which it should. Is this really print here? This should never be going off in this second one. Why? If this value is less than or equal to this, append. Else. So what is it comparing here? Okay, print me off res at -1, 1. How about this? Give me that. Oh, wrong one. 4. Oh. Yeah. Okay. We're more so looking for if res at 0, 1 is less than or equal to is less than or equal to. Wait, why is this working then? Why would this ever work? Why am I not getting an error on here? It'd be intervals at. Okay, get me out of here. Get me out of here. This is disgusting. This is disgusting work. All I want is for this to go one more iteration. Right? Because at the end it appends the last thing, but never then checks if it's interfering. Right? So I mean what I can do is I can do a for loop. I can say for interval in range of the length of intervals plus 1, right? And so then it becomes what? It now becomes intervals at interval at interval res.append intervals at interval, right? Int and list. Oh, intervals at interval at 0. Out of range. Intervals at interval at 0. It doesn't like the interval. Does it not like that? Okay, but then it's going to fail the same exact case, though. To where we need to go one more. But then how does the... Oh my god. I need to work on CLI Project. I'm just going to look. What am I doing wrong here? Intervals dot sort. Okay. If I equals the length of intervals, return 0. Res equals the result of a recursion call on that. I don't even want to look at that, bro. Also, I mean, I don't think this is ever going to be what I want to do. It just looks weird. Okay, we'll just start from the top. So it sorts it, and then it has a depth first search that takes in an index and a previous value. So this is -1. So we call it with -1 and then an increment on I if previous equals -1 or intervals at previous one is less than or equal to, so I mean that's what we had. That's what we had beforehand. This check. Then res. I hate recursion. Res is equal to the max between itself and 1 plus the recursive result of DFS I plus 1 and passing through I as the previous value. So this is in the case of we're at the first value, right? Or we have an overlap. If we have an overlap, then our result is equal to the max value between itself, which res is a DFS call on itself, but with an index. I don't even know how. Please. Okay. Sorry, epileptic people.
Like 70 people viewing it right now, so I hope that you guys are finding it helpful. On a few of the intervals, and you can see so far these three are not overlapping, right? But we're about to insert the last and fourth interval, 1, 3. So it starts at 1 and goes all the way until 3. So now you can see that they are overlapping with the introduction of this interval. And things become really simple when you draw a picture, which is why I always recommend drawing a picture for complicated problems. So now we want to eliminate intervals. We want to eliminate the minimum number. It's obvious that we can just remove a single interval, this one that we just inserted, to make the rest non-overlapping. But of course, that's not the only way we could do it. We could instead remove this interval and remove this interval. So instead, we'd remove 2 intervals. That's clearly not the solution, but there are multiple ways to do it, which is why writing the algorithm for this problem can be kind of tricky. One definitely possible way to do this problem is brute force it, right? Go through every single combination, right? For every single interval, we can choose to remove this interval or to keep this interval. And if we have 2 choices for every single interval inside the list of intervals, then, the time complexity to check every single possibility is going to be 2 times 2 times 2, basically 2 to the power of n, where n is the size of the input. So that's obviously not very efficient, but can we do better? And we definitely can, and it takes a greedy approach to solve this problem. When we're actually given this list of intervals, the ordering of them could be pretty random, right? But what you can see when we actually draw the picture, why would we want to go through these intervals in a random order? Why would we want to look at this one, then look at this one, then this one, yeah, right? Like in just a completely random order. When you look at it this way, it kind of makes sense to want to go left to right, right? To see, okay, here are they overlapping, here are they overlapping, etc., etc. And the easiest way to do that is to iterate through them in some kind of sorted order. You can probably do it sorted by the starting point or sorted by the ending point. I'm just going to stick with sorted by the starting point just because it's a little bit simpler for me, but I know that it works in both ways, for this problem at least. So when we iterate through these in sorted order, First, we're going to compare these two intervals, right? We want to compare adjacent pairs of intervals, right? And let's actually ignore this example for just a second. Suppose we had just two intervals, right? One interval like this and one interval like this. Okay, they're in sorted order, right? And we're comparing adjacent pairs. So we're going to look at this one and look at this one. How do we know if they are overlapping? Well, if they're sorted by the starting point, we know that either they both have the exact same starting point, or the second one has a starting point that's after the first one's starting point, and that's the case here. But again, how do we know if they're overlapping or not? Well, the easiest way to check is they're not overlapping if this one starts after this one ends, right? If the second one starts after the first one ends, then they're definitely not overlapping. But on the other hand, if the second one starts before the first one ends, then they're definitely overlapping, right? You can see that this is the point that they're overlapping at. Okay, so does that cover all of the cases? Well, there's one more case. Technically, that's slightly different. What if, the first one is really long and the second one starts here, right? So it does come after this one, but it ends before the first one ends. This is a slightly different edge case. Again, they are overlapping. We can detect that with the same condition. This one starts before this one ends. So yes, they're overlapping. But now, suppose we had a third interval that comes next. Remember, we are traversing these in sorted order. So first we're going to compare this one is first, this one is second. So then we're going to compare these two together. Next, are we going to be looking at this one and this one? In this case, yes, because remember, if these two are overlapping, we don't have to remove both of them. We only have to remove one of them. So the choice is, are we going to remove this one or are we going to remove this one? Well, which one do you think we would rather remove? Would we
Doesn't
want to
matter.
remove the one that ends first or the one that ends second? Of course, we'd want to remove the one that ends first because then there's less of a chance that it's going to overlap with the following intervals that come after. And remember, we want to minimize the number of intervals that we have to delete. In this example, with these three intervals, it doesn't matter. We could remove this one or remove this one. But let's look at another example. What if the third interval was
But
like
then in this, it
right?
matters.
It's overlapping with this one. Then it becomes pretty obvious. We
But
would
I mean, the
want to
conceptual part of
remove
this
this
stuff, like,
bottom
I don't
one.
know. Like, when he's explaining it here, it's like, no shit. Like, this is the stuff I
Of
know.
course,
It's the actual algorithm.
Instead, we decide. Basically, I just explained to you the exact algorithm that we're going to be using. We're going to sort the entire array based on the starting value. Then we're going to compare adjacent pairs and then use the conditions that I just mentioned. Now, what's the time complexity of this? Well, we're going to sort and then we're just going to iterate through the array a single pass, right? So the iterating is simple. It's just big O of n. We're just going to iterate through the entire array. But the sorting is where the bottleneck is. So that's what the overall time complexity is going to be, big O log n log n. And just to run the algorithm that I explained on this input example, because they have the first two starting values. So we're going to have this array in sorted order based on the start values. We're actually going to take the first interval and just take its end value and then keep track of it. Because since this is the first interval, there's nothing going to be that comes before it on the left. Okay, so now we're going to iterate through the intervals that come after this one. So the first interval is this one. It has the next start value. So we're going to check, is the start value less than this one's? Yes, they are, so they're overlapping. So which one are we going to delete? The one with the larger end value. So we're going to delete this one. We can leave this interval as is and save its end value so that we can compare.
Wait, we're deleting. You delete based on. Wait, so if I go back to my approach, does that work? 1 second. Delete based on. Oh, maybe this did work by sorting this like. Let me ask ChatGPT if. Um, I think that maybe this would work then. Because if we're removing based on the larger end value, right? It just means what? That there's just more chance of overlap. Because if they start at the same point, right? And one goes here, but one goes here, right? This one will never, if this one's overlapping, this one will always overlap. But if this one's overlapping, it doesn't mean that that one will always overlap. So maybe, you know, okay. That doesn't like, okay. This would just be sorting by that, I'm pretty sure. But anyways, number of intervals to remove. Track the end of the last non-overlapping interval. If intervals at I is less than just I mean, but this is starting at index one, and it's saying if this, what is previous n? So previous is intervals at 0, 1. Okay. Okay, so if there's overlap detected, increase that we need to what? Delete that one, keep the interval with the smaller end time. So previous end is equal to the minimum between that and okay. Else, if there's no overlap, the previous end is equal to just the next iteration in here. Okay. But like this, I don't think this solves anything. I mean, I'll try it, but I'm. Oh, what? All it added was this line. Wait, wait, wait. Okay, if we go back, res intervals, it's all the same, right? Yeah, it's all the same. For interval. Okay. Also, I technically I want to go all the way back to here. This is the better comparison. Okay. If res or not this. Okay. Res.append interval. So beforehand, my else was just delete res at index. This is saying if res at this is greater than interval at 1, which is just the opposite of this. Oh, no, no, no. Wait, wait, wait. If this value back here, it's end value. If this is greater than the end value of this interval, right? Making it, oh, this is the comparison that we're looking for of what this would be doing, right? Then just replace it. So I'm pretty sure I can remove this then, right? I'm pretty sure that that means maybe not, but I can remove that. And then so this becomes else if what was it? It was like if was it res? It was res at -1, 1. If this value is larger then interval, our current interval at 1, right? Then we want to say, what was it? If this one's bigger than this one, then we want interval. What was it? We want res at -1. Oh, we want the results at -1 to be equal to just interval. Otherwise, just increment the return value. But I also had the hunch that if we're doing that, I don't need this. Nice. Okay, the reason I don't need that anymore is because, but I also wonder if I went back and we did sort it by that, maybe not, but I just want to check. I just want to check. Okay, no. Because what happens? Because we'd look at this and we'd look at this, and this doesn't overlap with that. Or no, it does overlap with that. And we would be setting this equal to this, right? And then this overlaps with this. Actually, this is let me print this again. Let me print intervals again. I just want to make sure I understand. Um, so we look at this and we look at this and we say, okay, um, this overlaps with this, so overwrite this. Okay, which would happen on the other thing as well. And then we look at this and we say, does this overlap with this? It does. Oh, but because these aren't equal, right? These two values aren't equal, but so it is going to end up deleting this one when we wanted it to be this one. And so if you delete this one, then it doesn't overlap here. Okay, so that's the flaw in that logic. Okay, but yeah, but we can remove this because we're doing the comparison of um we're doing the comparison of which endpoint is the longest. Okay, so my approach actually was 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 fine. It was just I wasn't looking at in my else I was just deleting aimlessly, hoping, but there's actually if I actually looked at the endpoint, right, it would whatever. Okay. I want to see if there's a LeetCode overlapping intervals and see non-overlapping intervals. Is this the one? All right, and I wanted to analyze time complexity here. Is this just n log n? Okay, so my time complexity was as good as the other ones. Sick. Oh, there's also something I wanted to do. I wanted to see if um I can hook up something to when I hit submit on LeetCode, it uploads my code to GitHub for like that question. When there's an accepted like answer. That'd be pretty cool. Um yeah. Okay. That one was the best interval one I've done because my solution actually 90% worked. It was just had to crazy. I took an hour on each of those. That's not good. Um, Usually these leak codes have only been taking me half. I don't know why these interval ones have been like stumping me. Um, but at least that one was a lot better than previous attempts at those interval ones. Okay, so um I want to take a second and be right back, and then we'll work on CLI project. Um, yeah, and then we'll work on that until we're done with this video. Hopefully we can get the compose and the copy file links done. That would be a very, very good day. And then yeah. Okay, be right back. Okay, I'm back. I have an idea. I think I'm just gonna brute force this copy link shit. Okay. I think I'm literally just going to make a dictionary like we've done for the other stuff and have it be nginx is this file path up until okay. I'll show you what I mean. Yeah, these are my videos. Wow. Okay. Go to desktop. Go to desktop again. No, code. Sorry, code. Okay. Go to code visualizer login service. Oh my god. It has user share nginx HTML. Every single thing has this. Now, if we go to what we generated, oh, I changed it. Okay, but okay, let's open up. But my idea is that if we go to CD OneDrive, desktop, code, Docker tool, I'll just go here. New them. Okay. Oh, not again. Please tell me you have everything. Last thing I know would be up here on a literal string. I don't think it was this one. It was one of the. It was this one. Yeah, I don't think this is a. Yeah, this isn't a literal string. Okay, give me Docker image. Give me the last full record you have of the CLI.py file. Ideally, what we have here is I'm pretty sure these strings are supposed to be literals. Also, let me look this up. Oh wow. Neo Vim files always get corrupted. No. Whatever. I'm gonna have to look at the whatever it is later. Yeah, literal string. So what I wanted to do though was so if we go down to here, right, and we do copy and it's app and then the base file, right? Let's once this is done rendering, let's put it in and then I wonder if it actually puts this line in differently. Oh, we already went through that. No, it's good. 184 lines should be about the same. Longer, actually. All right, anyways. Um, what I should be able to do is cd into this desktop code, code visualizer, login service, and then run Python at Docker tool main CLI.py init. One image, nginx, this, not that, this, and this. Call it test, port 80. Yeah, give me that automatic run. All right, I don't have Docker actually open, so it won't run that, but it should have our test file. So it does a copy. So I want to bring this up side by side to CD, OneDrive, desktop, code, code visualizer, login service, NeoVim, and go to .frontend. Okay. So we can see basically that here it says copy and then just index.html, in which it does that. And then it just copies this string, right? It's this string and then whatever is like here. Or sorry, over here it does service main, service login. And then, so here service main this and this is fine because we never actually selected we selected the files in the folder. And it does user share nginx HTML and then it repeats it, right? So we just want to replicate that, but only for nginx, right? So what we want to do is we already have base image commands. I want to define here, I want to define a new dictionary, and it's still going to be the same things. But instead of base image commands, we're looking for base image files, right? So I know only nginx right now. So I know if it's nginx, I want well, here, I'll just take it from here. I want this. I want to put this in front of it, right? So if we have nginx alpine, then it's going to be, we want to copy, and so it says normalized file. Normalized file is equal to os path name replace blah, 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 and then destination path. Wait, normalized is os.path. So what was this doing? So this is fine, right? It's just this I need to add. So it does this and it does destination path. The destination path is going to be the base image files of the matching base image, right? So how would I do this? This would be what? This would be like base image files. Where's a dictionary that we're accessing? So base image commands, base image commands dot get. So actually what I want to do is I want to do um um destination free path is equal to, also where was I putting, I was typing somewhere. Oh, right here. Here, let me just yank this and then just undo okay, and then redo. So this is going to be um, base image files dot get. And so we want it to be like here we are doing a get on the selected base image, right? Which would be Python, Node, Nginx, whatever. Now, do I have anything? I print this stuff, right? So base image, we have. Oh, so it would be the base image at index. It's going to be is equal to base image at index. So at index, we want. Now, is it at. So this is exposed port at index. We want base image at index. I just want this. Because this is going to get us Nginx Alpine, and it's going to get us this string. So we want, I mean, basically just, and then destination prepath, right? No space in between these. I'm pretty sure. Because we already have the slash there. I think so, right? But this is only going to work with Nginx. If I selected anything else, it'll probably crash. This still probably will crash, but we can try. Invalid syntax, base image. Sorry, this is details at base image index. Um, why is that an error? Do, 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 do. Sorry, I wanted this. Gotta fix the hat. Syntax because incorrect. Treats index as relative because it is outside of an F string. Place the following line with this. And so what was this even doing? Like I have a dot get, but the dot get was bin sh. We'll see if it works how I want it to work. So this is saying what? Replace this with this. Ah, let's see. One image, Nginx, give me this, 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 this. Name it test1. Port this. Yeah. Okay. Let's see what test1 brings us. Test1 gives us, let's bring it up side by side. Index HTML from user share nginx HTML, and then we don't. So this puts index.html here, right? Because of what? I mean, I know it's because of destination path. And so I don't need this. But destination path, it's because we have the forward slash here, right? And is the forward slash also here? Yeah, it's more consistent, I guess, than to do this. But like if I were to remove this, right, then I wouldn't get a service made. So I still need that. I just don't want the end. So if I don't want the end, right, how can I take the file off of destination path? Like if it is main service index HTML, I want to remove. Normalized file. Okay, so this replaces all our slashes. Directory path. Um, Directory path. os.path name, dir name of our normalized path dot replace. So other way. Wait. If the file has a directory, add it otherwise. Okay. So this takes over all of this. Well, actually, technically, I could have, whatever. This, what? Tab over, is it 3? Yeah, it's 3. Let's try that. One image, nginx, index, this, and this. Call it test2. Port 80, this, run it. Test2. And now we have, wait, let me open up beside this. It looks pretty good. Index.html, user share nginx, main, user share nginx. Login page. We have 2 of these, user share HTML service, login. Beautiful. Yeah, beautiful. Okay. So we can now try this. So let's delete this, and this. And then let's go to Docker Hub. We'll delete front, all our front stuff. It's not already deleted. Images. Okay, so we want to delete this container so that we can delete this. All right. So now we do this. We want one image, Nginx. I want, what was it? This. I don't think I do package? No, I don't. Load more. Login page, base, and viewer. Call it front. Port 80. This. Create. Docker file. Okay. It built that. And it built the container. Let's fucking go. We did it. We did it. Oh my God. Okay. So I still want it to. Can you make it automatically open up, actually? Is there a way after successful container deployment to open a tab in the default user browser to show the container running? Yeah, it'd be at the port. First off, amazing. Now the thing is now I'm gonna have to go through. I could just ask ChatGPT to look at. So the whole thing is that with Nginx, it had that. I'm assuming what it is that Nginx is locally stored as like a package, right, or something like that, and so it has to go to that path and reference the file or something like that. I don't even know. I mean, if we look at it, right, where is the path? Terminal user share. Okay. So if we go to this PC, and I'm pretty sure I'm in my C drive, I think. Is it users? I don't even know if there's a share. There's the NeoVim and share. See, but that goes there. Is there any like user? No user. Interesting. Huh. Excuse me. Okay. What'd this say? Import this for this, build it out, try this, tries this, and at the end, okay, let's import this. It would just be cool if this works. Import web browser, npm I web browser. Okay, pip install web browser. Okay. And then down here, when we're building our containers, we build this, and then when we're doing our container, we say the URL. Is it exposed port? I mean, we do have details. Would it not be details exposed port? Ah, it's saying before run command here, just say expose port equals details at expose port index. And then in here, I can also just say um, expose port, which is a little cleaner, right? But that's exposed port, which I don't want. I just want Uh, I just want this. And then in our try block, we run and then container output. And then we open, we define the URL. So we do all this, right? And then we say, this is localhost at exposed port. This is 80, right? No, this is 8080. Oh, so I didn't need to do any of this. This is just 8080. Okay, so let's try this. Delete this container. Delete this image. And give it another shot. Image 1, Nginx. And so we want this and this. With that, and that. Call it front. Push it to port 80. Wow. Wow, 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 wow. Okay. So one last thing I want to do before we end this is saying I don't get why I need it, but I do need this when making my copy paths. Could you make the rest of the copy paths, even if, I don't know, maybe it's nothing for each image? Also explain why these are needed. Base, here, I'll make it a little bigger. What do we need different? Base images differ in their directory structure. Different base images expect file paths to be placed. Expect files in Python typically runs on an app directory, which is convection default paths. Okay. Now again, what is going to be the best? I feel like what's going to be the best way to do stuff like this is going to be um in here. Let me do like a what's in this directory? Let's do a get. Oh, how do I do this again? Get init. Give me my GitHub. Give me your repositories and Autodocker. Get init autodocker.git. Is that really? I wanted to git clone. Oh my god. Let's read the rest of this actually. Yeah, okay, whatever. Okay. Make it's just get init. Okay. Get init. Get remote add origin that. Verify it's been added. Origin. Okay, yeah. Well, shouldn't I do a get origin? Is it main? I'm pretty sure it's main. Uh, because I wanted the readme. But now I can do a get add all. Get status. Now we have everything. Yeah, I'll do that. I also like adding periods. And then just get push origin main. I always forget it's that fucking dash u origin main. What does dash u do? Okay, sure. And this should be good now. Nice. And then I can say something like, this is also what ChatGPT. Make a good read me in .md raw text so it formats with code blocks on how to use this. Say you get clone it on your local, then run. Just want to add the readme and then we're done here. No. I believe in you, ChatGPT. It's okay, little guy. Ah, I'll just do it myself. Bash, Python, blah, 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 blah. Step 3. Oh, what happened here? Oh, ah, amazing. Okay, there we go. Uh, um, I'm going to end it here. We still do need to work on the compose part of that, but I really want to I really want to move on to code visualizer, and I think I'll just do the compose thing in my free time. Um, because I want to just move on from this. But we are going to use this to deploy the main page of code visualizer. So that's where we can first test it and see what it's missing out on. And then what we'll do is we'll do a full do of making the front end and the back end and the main page and all these with the tool and just see how fast we can do it. Um, so yeah, um, yeah, honestly, pretty successful video. Um, First LeetCode wasn't that good. Second one was pretty good. And then we got good work done on the CLI project. I won't lie. These last few days, I've had no motivation to do the CLI project, and even today, I like kind of didn't want to like do it. Um, and I don't know why. I assume it's just because I'm not interested in it, because I think it's a cool tool, but it's like what I'm actually doing is like I don't know. I don't know why. I feel like I definitely should be more interested in it, but I'm just not, I guess. So so yeah. So we'll move on to code visualizer, which is something I am interested in. And working on that and everything that involves. And then yeah. And then hopefully I'm still optimistic we can get code visualizer to a working deployed like on a URL that you can like that anyone could visit by end of the week. Call me crazy. I think we can still do it. And then yeah. Um, One thing with a lot of my projects is like I never get it to an actual like deployed thing. Like I had an app called Quibbly that was a task management app that took me literally like I never fully got it out there. Like the first iteration of the app was never fully finished. The second iteration was never fully finished. It was like you could visit it, but it was always not, it was a shell of what I wanted it to be. So like I want Code Visualizer to be my first app. I will say, actually, I think it budget, I think it's somewhere in my repositories actually. There is one app I finished. Budget application right here. Um, no. Where is it? No. Um, Pages. Oh, your site's live here. Yeah, yeah. This is the only site here. Sorry. This is the only site that I've ever fully made. And it's a budgeting application. So what's the current date? It's the 15th. Get paid weekly. My payday is on a Thursday. I have 1,000 in my checkings, 500 in my savings, right? Or let's say 1,000 here. Um, Payday income, say it's 250. Weekly expenses, oh, I don't know. Let's say $70, right? Um, let's say we have zero this. Hit calculate. And so what it does is it'll show you if you're gonna 250 a week on Thursday, you can go through. And actually, this is for 2023. I never actually updated this, so this is behind. But look at it's it's a little calendar layout, and you can see like, oh, by the end of March, I'll have 3 grand if I'm spending $70 a week and making 250 a week, starting with 1,000 in my account. So, um, so yeah, and it goes forward and it goes backwards. You can't go out of bounds, right? It's only for this calendar year. Um, I was proud of it, but you want to see the funniest thing? You want to see the funniest thing? If we go to inspect, we go to sources. Are you ready for this? Number one, every and then we have March, which are these arrays. Look at how many lines of code this is. 2,000 lines of JavaScript for that. I think it would actually be cool if I revisited and like made this again and see like how and saw like how much more improved I am and efficiently of like writing that code. Because I'd assume, right? Number one, I could use a package most likely for these dates. But even then, like fleshing out those arrays is more of a one line thing. Or no, it's literally you could do an array of the days of the month, right? And then you have something that when you render a month, it fills out an array with one through that number, filling out those elements, right? And so that eliminates how many lines of code? Sorry, one second. Um, Jesus. That eliminates. Oh my God, I forgot about this. That eliminates almost 100 lines of code right there. This is simply you just do get element by ID and you just change the number. You just do day one, then do a loop, right? I'm sure you don't even have to do all this. And then, but then it's like look at this compute. What is this? If day is greater than 0 and day is less than 8, then I equals 1 in the first. But this was also pretty innocent because this was before ChatGPT. And this was when I was first learning. So like I have this as the year of 2023, but this was like the beginning of 2023. So this was like I started college. I started college a year before this. Actually, I can kind of look, I assume, at the GitHub repo of like when was my first commit on this. My first commit was October 27th, 2022. So that was actually the summer, not the summer, but the fall after I graduated high school. So I'd only been programming for about a year at this point, and that year was all HTML. So like I didn't touch Java. This was my first JavaScript oriented project. And I mean, taught me a lot about JavaScript. But like this is crazy. This is I forgot all about this. But it's kind of like the innocence of like, you know, I guess when you first start because it's like I mean like if you selected bi-weekly dot values, checkings and savings, emergency. This is so funny. All these if bounds checks. Like all of this could probably be done in like a line, I'm assuming. It literally it looks so dumb. Oh yeah, it was. Oh my God, I forgot about that. Yeah, I literally did the case if it's case of Saturday, case of Sunday. If month equals 2, if month equals 3, right? Because each month was like different in length and size on the calendar. So that's why there's so many if conditions because I didn't know how to handle like dynamic stuff. So I literally just did a hard condition for everything. It's pretty funny. It's pretty funny. Then I remember there was something after the months that was pretty complex as well. Month equals 12. Dot next month. Oh yeah, this is literally the arrow functions. If you hit dot next month, or if you hit the arrow, it triggers this function. Oh my God. Look at how many fucking variables I'm passing. Uh hey, but this is a fully deployed application. I mean it's outdated, but um yeah, that's pretty cool. Anyways, back to my outro. Um I'll do another outro just because I got caught up in that. So yeah, so pretty good day. Um Finished two leak codes. First one wasn't the best. Second was pretty good. Um, at a good point at the CLI application to where the proof of concept's pretty much done and working. There's some things I have to still add that are core functionality that's done, and there's a lot of edge cases that we're gonna have to work on. Um, and yeah, I think that's about it. Oh, for internships, I think I applied to like 10 last night. Yeah, I applied to these 10 last night. Um, so that's just where we are with that. I'll apply to at least another 10 tonight. Hopefully, maybe a little more. Got a couple rejections this week. That's about it. Um, Nothing else. Still have tomorrow and Friday, and if anything came in during the filming of this video, I guess. But I was really hoping I would have got because we put in like 50 applications in the last 2 weeks, so I was hoping like this week would have gotten something, but nothing. So just gotta keep applying. I won't stop applying until, like I said, like April. April comes around and we still have nothing. I'll admit defeat, and if that happens, this series is easily going over a year because I'll just be in school. But that's I will continue it because if I don't get the internship, it's going to be hell to try and get a full-time job with no internship. To go in there as an entry-level dev with no full-time experience, it's going to be hell to try to get something. So hopefully, hopefully this series doesn't go over 100 days. That's all I'll say. I hope this series does not go over 100 days and I get an internship. And so, like I said, I think I saw what someone else, the person that inspired me to do this series, after he got his internship, uh he started doing like programming until I graduate, but it wasn't programming every day. So he'd upload like maybe every other day, a couple times a week, maybe once a week, something like that, like pretty low key, which maybe is something I'd be interested in. I mean, I've liked holding myself accountable to at least doing an hour a day, and there's been so many days where I just don't want to do anything. And so it's really nice that I have done something every day. I feel a lot more comfortable. But then again, this semester, because I'm doing something like I'm getting pretty technical this semester in terms of we're doing a C programming class, a computer architecture class, linear algebra I've already taken, and then an algorithms class. Those are like pretty intense computer classes. So I would hope, you know, when we start getting into those this semester and I start recording and going through homeworks and stuff like that, um, because I feel like my knowledge is still very abstracted. I feel like I don't have a very good low level understanding of a lot of the stuff that's going on. A lot better than I was before, like last semester before I took how computers work, which I have a lot more knowledge on stuff of like assembly code and how stuff is kind of working under the hood. Um, so so yeah, two things that I haven't done yet that I should probably also do is I said there was these things I took note of. That was I wanted to learn latex and I wanted to learn bit stuff. Actually, there is a bit manipulation section in LeetCode, so we'll do that. Um, but anyways, that's all I got for today. Like I said, pretty good day. I will be back tomorrow for two more leak codes and working on the code visualizer app. So yeah, take care and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.